Hello everyone, GeneralApple here with the House in Fata Morgana playthrough, part 12. And on the last episode, we've got so much new information, both about Michael and the white-haired girl, and it's so incredible. Just the fact that even though Michael is cursed being, everything he touches just die, he literally has death touch, which is a very unfortunate curse, but the white-haired girl also being prosecuted for, being suspected as a witch. And yeah, we saw them getting closer to each other each day, and I'm pretty sure this one is not gonna have a happy ending, which I'm already just so sad about, because I really hope there's be a good ending, but we still haven't figured out who are we in this entire story, so maybe today's the day. I don't think we'll finish it today. I think we have 1 or 2 more episodes. But yeah, we'll definitely get closer because this is the final door. So let's just continue straight where we left off last time. The collapse of their happiness came slowly, gradually. Perhaps it was because she had touched his blood instead of his skin. But deterioration of the white-haired girl's health crept along at a relaxed pace. The life was not sucked out of her in the blink of an eye, as it had been from the bandit. She merely grew progressively less and less healthy. Amidst her physical decay, she was bestowed with one blessing. Her beauty remained untouched. But as far as blessings went, surely there were others she could have been granted. Could God have not picked something a little better for her? By the time the two of them realized what was happening, it was already too late. The white-haired girl had grown so weak she could hardly leave her bed. Wow, this early. Yes. Oh, you're there. I am. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I can't see very well anymore. Oh, she can't see. Just like the blind girl from the Beast story. How could this happen? I thought I had saved you, but no, I did the exact opposite. Please, don't talk that way. You did save me that day. But you're on the cusp of death now, and it's my fault. Because of this curse I bear. How? How could this happen? Why did this have to happen? What am I? Why was I given this body? Michael. Can I ask you a favor? Go ahead. Stay with me, please. As much as you can, until the very end. I was going to do as much anyway. Thank you. I'm happy, Michael. Happier than I have ever been. And I mean that. You didn't just save my life. You saved me. I've been saved. But only me. I wonder how you'll handle things when I'm gone. If only I hadn't opened the door that day, I wouldn't be leaving him all alone. And we could be happy together for even longer. Yes? Would you please hold my hand? I think it's probably safe now. I will not. I cannot touch you. If I do, I may take what remains of your life. Take your beauty away and force you to die hideous. I cannot touch you. And ear it. Her? What? On his way back from the washroom several days later, Michael heard muffled voices. Got it? I'll am good. He was having trouble making out what they were saying, but he could tell it was several men and they were outside the front door. The fact that he could hear them at all through the heavy door meant they were probably shouting quite loudly. An indescribable sense of uneasiness came over him. Dread. He drew nearer to the door and focused on the voices on the other side. They grew clearer, enough for him to make out what the men were saying. Everything is in place. We're ready to kill this witch now. This is definitely the place. That half-dead bandit said she was in this mansion. Listen well, no matter what we find in there, we kill it. It could be a child for all I care. That doesn't change anything. Kill the witch. Kill the witch, kill the witch, kill the witch. What he heard beyond the door was a group of men shouting for the death of the witch. In that moment, Michael regretted his decision to let the bandit go free and not watch over him until the moment of his demise. He must have made his way down to the village in search of help, where he revealed what he had found in the mansion. Damn it, but it was too late. Regret would solve nothing. He could neither stop the villagers from raiding the house, nor he could stop the white-haired girl from dying to the effects of his curse. He was helpless to do anything. The gears of his fate had locked him onto a path of tragedy and were turning mercilessly onward. Oh. Scared me a bit. The man had begun trying to break down the door with what sounded like a battering ram. While the first strike was not enough to breach the barrier, it was still quite powerful. He was certain it would not hold for long. Michael's mind raced. Was there anything he could do about this predicament? How could he escape from the corner he had been backed into? Despite his possessing inhuman power, he would be powerless against a full mob of adult men. The villagers almost certainly came armed as well. Michael. A weak voice came from behind him. Aghast, he spun around to find the white-haired girl stumbling towards him. She breathed heavily, leaning against columns for support. What are you doing out here? You'll only worsen your condition by exerting yourself. I had a sinking feeling, and I heard noises on my way here. It seems that I have brought all my misfortune upon you. Don't say that. If I hadn't come here, this never would have happened. You never would have been in any danger. Please, Michael, hand me over to the men outside. Absolutely not. I will do no such thing. They're here for the witch, aren't they? I'm guessing they're the same people who were chasing me before. The village had a poor harvest this year, I hear. Like the village in the legend, and they believe it's the witch's curse. But you're not a witch. They need someone to fill the role, though. So please, hand me over, and then escape on your own. I could never. Please, Michael, I'm the one who's cursed, not you. And you want me to hand you over? What would I have left then? Nothing. Not a thing. I would have nothing. After so long, I finally found someone who isn't afraid of me, who won't run. I have no interest in a world that would take you away from me. Make me live alone once more. To hell with such a world. Michael. Would you be willing to die with me? If that's what you wish, then stay with me until the very end. Oh my god, this is horrible. I probably wanted to hear that just as much as him. No, not probably. I did. I want to have someone at my side as much as him. It's so lonely not having anyone. To live alone. To die alone. To not have anyone watching over you. For no one to even know you're dead. I simply wanted someone to tell me they're here for me. To be there, to hold my hand. How wonderful that would be. The sense of utter relief it would bring would be enough to cast away all the pain, to allow me to accept all of our suffering. So please, tell me you will. Oh, we're back at the observatory? Oh. Michael and the white-haired girl chose to spend their final moments at the top of the observation tower. They could hear the crash of the battering ram against the door, the shouts of men, and their stomping feet. But despite all that, the ray of light shining through the little window was as beautiful as always. The room air of serenity remained unimpeached. After the long climb to the top, the white-haired girl was terribly out of breath. Michael considered several times offering her his hand, but the possibility that doing so might rob her of the last scraps of life stayed his hand. It sounds like they broke down the door. I'm glad we made it up here when we did. I'm so sorry for asking this of you. Don't be. I would have chosen here for my final moments as well. This is the one place in this mansion with any silent sunlight. The one place I can get a good look at you. Thank you. Oh, damn it, I'm about to cry again. No! I'm truly glad that I was able to end up here. Is he holding her? That I was able to meet you. And more than anything, that you said you cared about me. Have I managed to become an essential part of your life? Do you even need to ask? I wouldn't be here otherwise. I feel the same as you. I'm sure of it. The two of us are more similar than you probably care to admit. Can I ask you one more thing? Go on. Ah, okay. Would you embrace me? If this is to be the end, if this is to be my last chance, then I don't want it to end without having been able to touch you. Please don't refuse me this, Michael. Just do it, please. I won't keep you waiting long. Thank you. The truth is, I always wanted this. I dreamed of being able to hold you. I dreamed of it too. Thank you. I'm so very... She's still so beautiful. What a cruel joke. Could you not have given us some other miracle? One that would allow us both to survive? Where are you? Where'd you get off to? I can't find her, damn it. Hey, there's some stairs over here. They lead up. Beneath a single ray of light, the white-haired girl lay completely still. Not even a frail sigh escaped her closed lips. She remained as gorgeous as ever. It was as though she had simply fallen asleep in the sunlight. Looking down upon her, Michael determined to do one thing. I will not allow anyone to sully this sight. He gave a fleeting glance back at her pristine corpse, then opened the door and stepped through it alone. He would protect that room where she lay. Hey, there's someone up here. So this is where you've been hiding, you infernal witch. Wait, that's not the girl. The raucous sound of their footsteps rang up from below. Shortly thereafter, the men themselves came into view. As he had expected, they were heavily armed. He glowered at the men and then sucked in a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs, I am the witch you seek. I have inherited her curse, and it is I who bring calamity upon you. You hear that? But he's man or woman, it doesn't matter. Death to anyone who has ties to the witch. Cleanse this earth of all impurity. Kill him. Michael did not flinch at the sight of the men. He stood unyielding between them and the door. He did not flinch when they raised their weapon against him, nor when they pierced his body. Oh, God. What a hero. No other words. Die and take your curse with you. I have no need for this life any longer. It's all yours. I'm cursed to kill even that which I wish to protect. But at the very least, I can protect one thing before my life is done. Not even one of you will leave this place. Wither and die by my curse. The blood spilling from his skewered body flowered down the stairs, down and down like a little river, soaking at the feet of every single man who once stormed this mansion. This was the last thing he saw before the final grains of life slipped between his fingers, which brought a faint smile to his lips. Oh my God, what did you see? What? Ah. Neither of them had expected what happened next, though. for God has a most twisted sense of humor. The white-haired girl had not miraculously passed away without being robbed of her beauty. Why am I still alive? She had, rather, not passed away at all. Quite cruel of him, was it not? Michael? Where have you gone, Michael? What the hell? I smell blood. Oh my days. They could have touched each other this entire time? For had he allowed her to die, she would not have been made to witness the scene that awaited her. No, and I'm sure you would know just what she laid eyes upon in that moment. Please don't let me see it. The ravished corpse of our beloved, a torrent of blood streaming down the spiral staircase, and the sickening stench it raised. No, why? And his was not the only body. The villagers who had assaulted the mansion had been subjected to his curse. Oh, because they stepped in his blood. The life drained from their withered shells. Why did this? Michael, why? Why am I the only one still alive? That is a question I cannot answer either. Perhaps his curse did not affect those he loved, as terribly cruel as that might be. I cannot say. Why? You said we would go together. A world without you has no meaning. Had she actually expended her life there in the room at the top of the tower, perhaps this tale could have had a happy ending. She would have at least been able to have a man she loved at her side until the very last moment upon this earth. But that was not what had transpired. She had survived, been left utterly alone. I felt a profound pity for the miserable girl, so I called out to her. Wait, so the maid called out to her? The witch Morgana. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no, brother. Oh my days, it was the maid. I haven't connected the dots. I knew the maid was something. But she was the witch. Oh my god, I thought she was like the manifestation of this house. Which I guess can still kind of be true, but... Oh, damn it. Oh, god damn it. I feel so... Okay. The witch Morgana. Would you like to see him once more? Oh, this... God damn it. Dude, god damn it. Oh, that's actually... Oh, what a cruel witch. What a vile witch. Actually abusing her in a moment of weakness. Shame on her. What? I have the power to help you meet him again. Who's there? Where are you? You know what they call this mansion. So who do you suppose remains on these grounds? No way. You're from the legend. You actually exist. Now I ask you a simple question. Would you like to see him again? The witch grants people wishes, but at a price. I said I wouldn't ask her for it. I shouldn't ask for her assistance if I met her. But that's all changed. Now that I've lost him, if it's truly possible, then yes, I want to see him. Bring him back to life. Regrettably, I cannot directly meddle with the forces of life and death. However, I can guarantee you this. Your reconstruction. Reconstruction? Correct. To ensure that you remain as yourself in future lives and are not reborn as someone else, your body and mind shall be reconstructed, as shall his. If you... Oh, this is so good. This is so damn good. Okay. If you sincerely wish to reunite with one another, if you genuinely need each other in your lives, you will eventually meet again. All I can promise you is eternal reconstruction. What you make of it is up to you. You want to see him again, don't you? You want to hear his voice again, don't you? You want to feel his hand on your cheek once more, don't you? If that's what you want, then you must remain who you are. If you are simply reborn, that wouldn't be you. So, there wouldn't be any point, would there? Me, as I am, and he, as he is. Make up your mind quickly. I will not wait long. I want to see him again. He. I have so much to say. Let's read a bit more. As you wish, sweet little girl. I shall grant you both eternal reconstruction, and pray with all my heart that you can attain true happiness. Shortly thereafter, the white-haired girl took her own life. She decided she had nothing to gain by remaining in the present time, and that in order to reunite with Michael, she needed to make her way to her next life. And thus, the mansion was left bereft of a master, to travel slowly through the ages until someone came along to give it life once more. Oh man. Misty Manor, completed chapter. Oh. The maid. Wait, so just to understand it, the maid is the witch, right? As far as I understood it. I might have been incorrect, but this seems like the right thing. Oh my god. Because the way how the entire messaging was constructed, the maid said she was calling to her, I believe. I think I understood it correctly. But oh my god. Oh, what a damn shame. At least now we understand why she's constantly reborn. It's the true witch curse. That's why she is reborn. And Michael was also being reborn, apparently. So I guess he was the boy from the first chapter. Wow. That is interesting. Okay. But an unfathomable amount of time has passed, and the two have still yet to reunite. Oh wait, so he wasn't? Have they, master? Hee. You know now who you are, do you not? Am I Michael? You remember everything now, do you not? You were present in every single era. The reason for which is as described in the previous tale, because you yearned to be reunited with someone. But that person never showed up, in any era. And poor sweet you, having no memory of any of that. Well, yeah, I said I was the white-haired girl from the start. If that's actually true, I nailed it. If not, lived those lives with other men. Is it any surprise misfortune befell those eras then? The door swung closed, but rather than outside, you and the maid were inside the dull, monochrome room at the top of the observation tower. The awe-inspiring ray of light shone not through the lone window high upon the stone wall. Wrapped in a curious, impenetrable darkness, you both stood alone in the room. The maid wore a gentle but bitterly cold smile as she looked straight at you. It is not your fault misfortune befell you. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were always so kind, so pure of heart. You had boundless trust for others and the goodness of people. You were the very image of all that is right. There is no greater misfortune than someone as pure and beautiful as you. Yeah, I am indeed a white-haired girl. Being mercilessly thrown into the grinding gears of tragedy again and again. I still pity you for everything you had to go through. You poor, poor soul. You must be utterly exhausted. Constantly betrayed, the man you were waiting for never appearing. After so long, your spirit worn down to the bone, you lost any and all awareness of who you even were. Who were you hoping to find wandering into this illusory mansion, cut off from the real world? You and I are the only ones here. The man you seek is nowhere to be found. Have you still not figured it out? Then allow me to tell you everything. I am the cursed witch, Morgana, who haunts this mansion. Ah, damn it! Ah, shame on you, woman! You deceived me. Oh man, I can't believe I didn't call it. I should have called it. It was actually a really good plot twist. It was actually a really good plot twist. Wow, there's so many hints sprinkled along the way. I should have realized. I definitely should have known. Damn. That was really good. Yeah, they definitely got me with this one. Okay, let's continue. And you are the tragic plaything of fate, the white-haired girl named Giselle. Wow, at least I called this one out. Okay, I'll take credit about this one. I literally called it from the first act. Yeah, I knew I was the white-haired girl. No, I believe I called it from the second act, my bad. Whenever I saw she was reincarnated. Okay, did my calling you master confuse you? If so, then I apologize, it did confuse me. My habit of calling the master or mistress of the house master is quite deeply ingrained. Oh, I actually haven't thought of it. Like calling master, even though she's a female, that is quite confusing, but for some reason I just knew I was the white-haired girl. I guess because I was expecting it somehow. And yes, that means precisely what you think it does. That I've accepted you as my new master. That I wish for you to remain here, to stay with me. So let us put an end to this journey. Do not worry, there is nothing to fear. We are simply going to step outside the river of time. Nothing unpleasant will ever happen to you again. I will be here with you for all eternity, and I will give you my utmost care. You will not have to wait for anyone. Forget about him, the man you once sought. And I'm sure you shall find happiness. Please, do it for me. I have been waiting for you for so very long. I have wanted nothing more than to see you again. But you were continually stolen away from me, despite my sincere desire to spend my days with you. Which is why I wanted you to recall everything, for surely you would not willingly repeat the same fate. If you knew all of the pain it has caused you to suffer thus far, spend eternity with me. In the gentle embrace of darkness. The maid extended her hand for you. Okay, I'm going to save. I think there's gonna be a choice here. Her fingers, brushing up against yours, were as cold as ever. But her breath tickled your skin pleasantly, and her sweet words rang in your ears, filling you with warmth. You thought back on your time with her in the mansion. She had indeed always treated you with great compassion, and nothing she had said seemed to be a lie. Well, saying half-truth is also kind of, I guess it's not lying, it's deceiving. And so, you pondered. What were you to do? There's a choice. Accept her proposition. Reject her proposition. But there's a third option. There is still more to be done. Okay, I want to reject her, but I definitely not accept. That's for sure. I kind of wonder what the third option is. Wait, let's save again. So maybe we can go back to that and explore some other options. Okay, so I think it's overall better if we go through all the endings. So for now, I'll choose this one. There is still more to be done. And see how this one going. Something seemed off. Not only with the story she had just told, with her, and with you, yourself. Assuming everything she had said was the truth. Which or not, my mind is made up. Which will strike you first, I wonder? Regret or the curse? You seem to be doing just fine. It's only a tale. The witch is real, very much so. It is not a legend, nor a fairy tale. The witch is me. What? I'm confused. That's right. I wasn't the white-haired girl who claimed to be the witch. It wasn't the white-haired girl who had claimed to be the witch. And that wasn't all. Or do you mean to reclaim your old self, no matter the cost? If you do, if you're sincerely prepared to do that, then be wary of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real is precisely that, a fabrication. None of your question had been answered. You still didn't know who the painting was, or what had taken place so long that caused the mansion to summon people to it. You didn't even know who you were, for that matter. There was still more to be done. You had to find the truth. You needed to find someone, that much was certain. But was the theory the maid had told correct about whom? And if it was, what about her? What about the woman whose name you couldn't say? The woman who had so cheerfully called you master? We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house, so we have plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. This is just the beginning after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? Wow, there's so much going on. You must say her name. You must take her hand. You must make her smile once again. You mustn't reclaim your old self. It's dark. Dark. It's dark. It's dark again. It's dark. Dark. Constantly engulfed in darkness. You threw it away every single time. I must break out of this darkness. I will give you a world that's not cruel to you. I must escape and take her hand. Because that's the reason. Oh, I've got a wonderful idea. I came here. You can curse them with me. I must return. I must reclaim. We can think of new ways to torture them. We'll all be happier if you stay here. Just think about it. Stay here in this world. You'll be right at home. No! I did the best I could for you. Nothing more. This is not where I belong. No matter how much a world of darkness may suit me, you'll never be able to do it. I must reclaim my old self. Reclaim yourself. True ending. This is brilliant. Do you have any idea how terrible a decision that is? Do you have any idea why I fabricated that story? It was all for you. So stay here. Stay right where you are. The darkness suits you better. Reclaim yourself. Remember what someone told you not long ago. That you could handle the stories because they weren't your own. That you were able to bear the tragedies because they happened to others. If that had been your suffering, if the secrets you had kept buried away for so long had come out, you couldn't possibly have endured it. But you are a sharp one. I'm sure you intended to keep those secrets tucked away forever. Do you really think I'm going to let you do that, though? Whatever you try to hide, I'll make sure your beloved hears every last detail. Keep reclaiming myself. How foolish can you be? Despite all my encouragement, you still insist on getting your old self back. What do you have to gain from that? Nothing but filthy, ugly tragedy awaits you down this path. Reclaim yourself. Don't get your hopes up, my dear. There's nothing for you there. You have nothing. I'm offering you a place by my side. You should just take it. There's no salvation for you anywhere. None. At all. Anywhere. From anyone. Ever. Reclaim yourself. She has long since lost all grip on reality. And you think there's anything you can do for her now? Despite having repeatedly failed to even regain yourself? Let me claim myself. I suppose if you're going to be stubborn, as much as I don't want you, I have to place a curse on your soul. That's right. The white-haired girl was never at the mansion. What? No. No. Don't do this. There is still a story left untold. What? The fourth door was all a lie. What do you mean? It was not some sweet little tragedy. Wait, I'm speaking? The story you told was pure fantasy. No, that was the truth. That was where it all began. Because of what happened then, you spent innumerable years lost until you showed up here and... What? You reached out, grasping for it. You pull yourself in. Your silhouette, which has been hazy until now, begin to take form. Your mind, your consciousness, your heart, your soul, and your body. Who are you? The veil in your mind dissipates. A crack forms in the shell encasing you. Then another. The invisible shackles chaining your spirit fall to the floor. Reality fades in atop the indistinct, foggy world around you. Bony fingers appear before your eyes. Long hair, your voice, no, my voice, my body, my fingers. My arms are frail, and my joints weak. But despite my resemblance to the white-haired girl, I am not her. This is who I am. I have finally reclaimed myself. You weren't waiting for the white-haired girl. You were waiting for me. And that's exactly why I came here. What? I have no idea. What are you talking about? I've always waited for the white-haired... There was never a white-haired girl. There was only... This time I say her name. She is Giselle. There was only you. I am Giselle? No, I am not Giselle. I am a servant of the house, and I'm the witch. You're not a witch. The witch is someone else. Oh my days, that is crazy. That is the craziest twist I've ever seen in any video game whatsoever. That is insane. Oh my days, I gotta keep reading. Why do you insist that you're the witch? What changed you so much? I was completely wrong about everything. No way, dude. The shadowy figure in the master bedroom, that was her. A glimpse into her past. I'm sure this is Giselle, but why is she so different? What happened to the spark she used to have? Where did the light she once shone upon the world go? I have to remember. I must remember. This cannot end until I have. This is no longer a story. No, what I need to face is my past and her heart. She was not even present in the story she made up. Everything about it had been changed. The past I lived and the wounds she bore were more grounded in harsh reality, not wrapped in a film of fairy tale magic. That was the final tale, and it was all true. That's how it happened. It was a bittersweet story. No, how can you not see this? Yes, it was a beautiful tragedy. But was there even a scrap of humanity in it? Behind the 3 preceding doors, there had been a constant thread of ugliness and conflicting motivation, but there was hardly any trace of that behind the 4th door. The characters felt like nothing more than characters. Is that what you want to turn it into? Is that what you want our history to become? Oh, her history? But I don't remember anything at all. You don't remember anything? No, I don't want to. I don't need past or future. All I have left inside of me is uncertainty. Giselle. No, that is not my name. Please, stop trying to confuse me. I'm fine with things the way they are. If it means I don't have to hurt, that's all I want. So please, just let me keep being the maid. Let me keep being a guide, not some foolish girl. Is that what she honestly desired? Does she want to cast aside her past for good? If so, then... I won't first her. Not remembering isn't an option. Okay, yeah, we're save. Let's not save here, because I want to see all the endings. I won't first her. Not remembering isn't an option. Let's try this one. We can always come back. No matter what she says, I know I'm right. And if she doesn't reclaim her old self, I'll never get to hear her say my name again. I know I'm being selfish here, but I can't do that. If you're afraid of what you might find, we can remember together. I haven't gotten everything back yet myself. So let's open the real door together. There are no other doors to open. The main gate. But there is one that can only open by our hands because it exists between the two of us. Not a door with physical form, but the door to your heart. Ah. The door to... I grasp her unnaturally cold hand. A hand that long ago once had warmth. If she can't lead the way, then I have to. I must pick up the pieces of our erased history so we can both reclaim ourselves and find the actual truth. No matter what we may uncover, I will not let go of this hand. No, I mustn't let go of it. Darkness fell over the world around us. The floor upon which we had been standing flickers out of existence, setting us dropping into an endless abyss. This dark pit, this is her door, her history, her heart. Let's try this one more time. It's not a sweet story by any means. It's a story of betrayal, anger, hatred. We caused each other pain, but that's the road we traveled. And down that road lies all the answer. Reclaim yourself. Take the first step toward uncovering the truth. The fourth door. Now for real. Oh my god. Oh, the fifth door. Okay, so still same year. Oh, it had been several days since I've left the capital, and I could still see it when I closed my eyes. The people lined up upon the grand pont, awaiting entry, eager to start a new life. They're brimming with hope. It was a city people were willing to pay high taxes to live in. If you were a performer, you could get some of those costs shaved down by a bit, putting those skills to use. The capital was harsh on those who wanted in, and apathetic about all who left. It was all composed of powerful nobility and clergy, wealthy merchants and bankers, and a large population of poor. And it was the city I had called home for a long time. I didn't know much about where I was heading. Giselle, it's getting foggy. Looks like it might rain. Maybe we should take a little break. You want to keep going? Oh, alright then. The coachman was frustratingly taciturn. Wow, that's a new word. I've never seen this one before. He acted as though he had gotten stuck in transporting a prisoner. Though that was hardly a stretch. From his point of view, I was nothing more than a criminal. Even the times he would acknowledge I had said anything, he made no effort to hide the scorn in his eyes, to pretend he didn't regret ever taking this job, and I would just fall silent again. The road was gradually getting narrower. We had long since left the paved city roads behind, and we were now traveling along a couple worn-down groves in the forest. How did I end up here? Why was I being subjected to this? I was done thinking about it. The more I thought about it, the more I thought on it, the less fair it seemed. The more I remember, the worse it hurt. All I could do anymore was close my eyes and weather the storm. Deep within the dense woods, a mansion appeared before us like the world falling into view after a dream. It didn't seem to be a especially large house, but it had obviously been constructed with a great deal of care, and it was, thankfully, not standing in ruins. This deep in the forest? The carriage came to a stop, and the coachman climbed down, signaling with his chin for me to get out. Thank you very much. You must be tired after such a long journey. This is the mansion I'm looking for, yes? But the driver didn't even acknowledge me. Getting back onto the carriage and setting off into the forest, he seemed to want to get as far away from here as quickly as possible. He could have said something. Oh well. That was about all I could say anyway. Oh well. I couldn't blame anyone for my being here, or for his wanting to get out. I should get going, I guess. Getting a better look at it, the house windows were, strangely enough, all shuttered. It was probably dark as pitch inside. Does no one lives here? But if that's the case, then why was I placed my hand on the front door. Such a big door. What if I couldn't get in? I had no idea what else there was in the area. If the door didn't open, then I would die out here in the forest. I've come to accept as much, but I was not ready to forfeit my life yet. Please open. It's not locked, I guess. The door was heavy, and though it seemed to protest my attempts to enter, it still opened much easier than I was expecting. I was worried over nothing. Looking in, I got the strangest impression that light was being swallowed up in the mansion depths. Rather than going inside, it felt as though I was about to step outside the boundaries of this world. When I closed the door, it was so dark I couldn't even tell where I was walking. I wonder if the window's open. Though I managed to fumble my way over to a window, it was tightly shuttered, and the shutters caked with rust. I was probably not getting it open without a fight. Darn, not a hint of light. I couldn't even see my hand waving in front of my face. It felt as though the floor would fall out from under me, and I would sink into eternal darkness if I didn't watch my step. Fighting back that fear, I slowly walked forward, tracing the wall with my hand. There was a door at the end of a long corridor. I pulled it open, and a wisp of bone-chilling air brushed past me. It was too dark to see anything, but I could feel something different present in this area than the rest of the house. Uneasiness gripped me. Hello? Is anyone there? Please don't tell me it's actually abandoned. I suppose I can't know without looking around a bit more. My voice simply disappeared into the void. No response. As I pushed forward through the freezing air for a split second, I spotted a shimmer of light. Squinting my eyes, I was able to make out a large window. Unlike the others, it wasn't shuttered. What do we have here? Drapes. I see a little light beyond. My chances were slim, I imagined, but if there was even a slight possibility of getting some light in here, it was worth a shot. So I pulled open the drapes. Next moment, faint but colorful light shone down on me. It was a stained glass window. From beyond the glass, I could hear the subtle pitter-patter of rain. It had finally started, it seemed. The different colors of light blended into a milky white, dim, but wondrous. It's so pretty. It looks like an angel. Why would someone cover this up? It's beautiful. With a little more light, it'd be... Please do not touch the drapes. Or the windows. Suddenly, I heard a voice, and I could sense someone else in the room. The man's voice was emotionless, neither deep nor high. Before long, he came into view, illuminated by dull orange candlelight. It's Michael. I'm sorry for coming in uninvited, but I didn't announce myself. The man stood there, practically blending in with the darkness. Had he been there this whole time? He was staring straight at me. His gaze wavered slightly, but not enough for me to read anything in it. Then again, I could hardly make out any detail at all under the light of a single candle. Is this, your mansion? It is. Thank goodness. I was afraid it was deserted. I suspect you would have preferred it if the house were abandoned. Oh, not at all. I would be scared to death staying in this dark mansion all by myself. I'm sorry. No ill will intended. But I do think it could do with some light. That way you could see where you were walking. And I'm sure this room would look splendid illuminated. Not necessary. I make do perfectly well as things are. How can you see when it's so dark? I have an abundance of candles and oil for lamps. I am not in want of means of creating light. It is not your place to criticize my lifestyle. If you need light, you are free to leave. If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town. I'm no longer able to freely return to the city. I cannot go back there. Please, don't chase me out. I see. And do you ask this of me, aware how people refer to this mansion? They say that a witch lives here. Not merely a witch, a cursed witch. If you remain here, you too shall likely suffer your own destruction. You're worried for my well-being. Witch or not, my mind is made up. I was sent to this cursed witch mansion to atone for my transgression back in the city. What? Wait, I was sent to this cursed witch mansion to atone for my transgression back in the city. Oh, so we got a different piece of information right now. In the first iteration, it was said she was being chased out because she was a witch, but now she was sent to this as punishment. Interesting. Okay, we're getting the story, but this time with the truth in it. It didn't matter what lived here. I had no choice. Wow, that makes actually so much sense because the story was really short. Which will strike you first, I wonder? Regret or the curse? You seem to be doing just fine. It's only a tale. The witch is real. Very much so. It is not a legend nor a fairy tale. The witch name was Morgana. Is me. Oh. Wow. Okay, I need to shed some light into this now. Yes, that was our first encounter. It was nothing flowery or dramatic. It was rather laced with suspicion and wariness. We knew nothing about one another, and I had no interest in changing that. But nonetheless, that was where it all began, where my history with her commenced. Wow. The woman had jade eyes. Open wide, they glimmered like jewels in the light shining through the stained glass window. She seemed to be at a loss for words. I wasn't lying per se. The rumors that a witch lived in this house, and I was the only one who filled that criteria. Thus, said rumors could be interpreted to be talking about me. After staring at me, dumbfounded for a few moments, the woman suddenly burst into laughter. Oh, so we get to see my cool perspective. She's beautiful, by the way. Oh, wow. She's laughing. Here I was thinking you were kind of scary, and it turned out you're actually quite funny. What? I never would have guessed you were someone to tell such ridiculous joke with a straight face. Straight face. I wasn't. You don't look at all like a witch. I mean, it's dark and I can't really see. But you seem to me like a rather handsome man. The word witch. The word witch has a broader meaning than just some woman who practices magic. Any unholy person with cursed powers, man or woman, can be considered a witch. I think I get what you're trying to say. But my mental image of a witch is definitely more a woman. So you're not a witch. To tell you the truth, I didn't know who might be here, which had me rather scared. But I think I can make this work. What do you... It's a pleasure to meet you, Master. Master? I was sent here from your old home. I was an Abigail for your mother, but I might have made a little goof. I froze the moment the word left her mouth. Home. It rattled around in my skull, shaking up terrible memories that almost brought me to my knees. Why, after all these years, were they reaching out to me now? Even sending someone to bring me back, just sending someone. To what end? For what purpose had they shipped an Abigail out to this remote mansion? What was my mother thinking? Was this another one of her attempts to break my curse? What do you mean, you made a little goof? My voice came out weak. I did my best not to let it show on my face. It was a teeny tiny mistake. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. She stole something? What did Mother say about me? Well, it was actually your father who told me to come here. I never really spoke to your mother much. father sent you? That made even less sense. Why would he have? Did father even know I was here? No, if he had known, I would have been... Who was this woman? And what was her goal in asking to stay here? Well, there you have it. I'll be here for a while. If you need me for anything, do not hesitate to ask. I'm confident I can handle most everyday tasks. Now, where should I begin? Oh, I know. Are you hungry, master? Food. I can't imagine you eat much, being as skinny as you are. I turned my back on her without responding. No matter what her goal was, she had been sent from that house. There was no way anything good could come of that, and there was no way I could live with someone who had ties to them. I prayed she would take the hint, give up and leave. Master. And so I kept ignoring her. Master, master. I ignored. Master, I ignored her. Master, what would you like for supper? Nothing! But failed, spinning back and shouting. Her eyes went wide, and then she gave a sheepish giggle. I glared at her as she fidgeted uncomfortably. Eating is one of most basic human needs, so if you are hungry, you should really eat. I said I didn't want. What was that sound? Must you say? That's not very polite thing to ask a lady, you know. Huh. You know. It was a long trip, and all I had to eat on the road was dried fruit. I felt like I was I felt like I was some kind of animal. So, what I'm trying to say is that I'm hungry. That wasn't the sound of her stomach growling, was it? I thought lightning had struck in the distance, and would like some supper. The kitchen is at the far end of the hall on the first floor. There's food in the cellar. Help yourself to any of it. Thank you so much. I honestly feel like I haven't eaten in days, and I'm about to die of starvation. Oh, and I shouldn't need help finding it. And I plan on exploring the house anyway. It's rather exciting being in a new place. Ah, damn it. That did not go as planned. Oh well, she can do as she pleases. I'll have nothing to do with it. Oh, master, are you sure you don't... No. Master, master. What is it now? My name is Giselle. It is a pleasure to meet you. And your name, master? Oh, master, you... I actually left the room that time, making my way back to my chambers. At some point, I would seriously have to chase her out, especially considering she had come from that house. But regardless, I was not terribly fond of her. I didn't really understand Michael, but that was probably because we were still essentially strangers. Having been sent to the mansion as reparation for my mistakes, I wasn't sure who I might find there. But I was tentatively convinced he wasn't a terrible person. He didn't do anything to me, except stay away. Michael spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had told me to never enter under any circumstances, so we rarely encountered one another in the halls. For that reason, I made an effort to be kind and cheerful on the sporadic occasion we did cross paths. I figured if I kept that up long enough, he would eventually warm up to me. And as new housemates, being able to enjoy our time together was obviously preferable to the alternative. If I did manage to break the ice, I hoped we would have been able to do some talking about the mansion, about him, about me. I just had to keep working at it. Michael didn't need me to take care of him. He handled his own day-to-day needs and activities by himself, and in fact, he didn't ask me for anything. An aristocrat who had no use for his servant. I hadn't met anyone like him before. Alright then. That meant about all I could do was clean. I wasn't sure how his room looked, but the rest of the house was, quite frankly, an absolute disaster. The dust was so heavy it was obvious it hadn't been touched in years. Let's get started! It couldn't be healthy to live in these conditions, so I set out to clean each room in the house one by one. That said, it wasn't going to be an easy task. Not because I was bad at cleaning, in fact, I considered myself quite good at it, but because it was near impossible to find all the dust and grime that needed cleaning under the flickering light of a candle. I can't understand how anyone sane can live in this dark. What's wrong with him? Maybe he's actually a vampire. Oh god, wouldn't that be something? I can see it now, him sneaking out every night to suck the blood of pretty girls. Priceless. Ah, that means I'm in trouble. Ah, she's quite feisty. She reminds me of Maria from the first story, actually. But in a good way, you know, not the obvious betrayer way. Look at me, Miss One-Woman Comedy Show here. Yep. If I'm able to get him to warm up to me, though, maybe that will give me a little more room to make some changes. Like opening some windows. No light and no fresh air. No thank you. Anyway, I set the candlestick down, pulled over a chair to stand on, and started wiping down the shelf. The chair legs seemed to be uneven, as it wobbled slightly beneath me. So many books. I wonder, do they all belong to him? I knew parchment was expensive, so it was rather astonishing seeing this many stacks of it in one place. There were even some books with bulky, extravagantly decorated covers. He does come from an esteemed family. I'd spent enough time at his family home. It was a constant bustle of servants and guests, the exact opposite of what this mansion was like. Why had he left his home? What had he done to be sent all the way out here to this remote mansion with less than savory reputation? Need to be careful not to overstep my boundaries. I'm a servant now. A servant. But once the thought had crossed my mind, I couldn't get it out. I always had a bad tendency to chase my curiosities as soon as I struck, pushing to scratch the itch no matter how much my action annoyed others. I couldn't do that here though. I was simply a servant, and if I got on Michael's bedside, I risked getting thrown out. I wonder what kind of books he got in here. So I attempted to distract myself. I grabbed one of the books and attempted to pull it out. What? But the strings binding the parchment must have gotten tangled in the back. Whoa, whoa. Because the books on either side tilted back with it. And then the entire row came crashing down on top of me. Ah, for Christ's sake. I had fallen off the chair, and downpour of books was still coming down on me, a mountain of dust with it. Seriously, what are you doing? What? Suddenly, Michael was there, looking down on me from a little ways away. There was, and as usual, not much I could read from his expression, but I could hear a vague traces of separation in his voice. I was doing some cleaning and impressive work. I'm usually better than this. It's just so dark, mistakes should be expected. I really think we should open some windows, Master. Get some light, some air flowing through here. I never asked you to clean anything. You did this entirely yourself. But there's so much dust. It can't be good for you. I'm perfectly healthy. I don't see the problem. Had he even seen himself? No way someone that skinny was perfectly healthy. You look like you have something to say. He can make out my face in this darkness? You know, I want to be useful, and cleaning is about all I can do here. So, you know, I was sensing something else. But, alright. He let out a sigh, stepped over towards the pile of books, and then reached his hand down for me. So he can't touch her. I suddenly felt a pang of embarrassment about the fact that I was still splayed out on the floor. But I raised my hand to take his, only for him to pick up a book instead. You could at least help me up. You have legs. Ah, that's actually good. I love it. He said, casually returning the book to the top shelf. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was a terrible person. That is hilarious, actually. So now we're going to Michael's perspective because the flowers are blue. Ah, she's so pretty. Wow. So, Master, are all these books yours? Giselle asked, not trace of remorse visible on her face despite having made a mess of the room she was supposedly trying to clean. I gave a curt nod. Really? That's impressive. Must have been hard work getting them all in here, huh? There's got to be hundreds of books here. You could fill a whole carriage at least. It's like you've got your own personal library. She had been pouting only a few moments earlier, but her smile was back in short order. Her jade eyes were like little balls of curiosity, glittering in the faint candlelight. I was not particularly fond of overly expressive, rather overly curious women. Did I not care that they trampled uninvited into other people's personal spaces? Or were they not even aware that their actions were invasive? I averted my gaze from hers. I receive one roughly every month. Ah, I see. Wait. She turned back towards the shelves. I presume she understood the implications of what I just said. Of the fact that there were nearly 100 tomes here, and I received only one a month. Ah, Giselle felt silent. I couldn't blame her if she thought my circumstances or my family or my life bizarre. But I didn't care what she thought of me. In fact, it was to my advantage for her to be uncomfortable. I just needed her to stay quiet and keep her nose out of my business. There are more than I thought. I said not to her, but to myself. I had no reason to count the passage of time anymore. Only the books served as a record of how long I had been here. 121! What? There are 121 books. Oh, she actually counted. 10 years and 1 month. You were counting. Thought she had just sheepishly gone quiet. What an inscrutable woman. You've been here in this mansion for that long? All by yourself? The truth was, there had been times when I wasn't alone, but Giselle had no need to know that. You already know the answer. A look of pity formed in Giselle's eyes. Enough. I never asked for her sympathy. I'm here by choice. You mean you weren't banished here? No restraint, this woman. No. I came here out of my own volition. I didn't care enough to elaborate, though. Picking another book up off the floor, I brushed the dust off its covers. It was a gaudily decorated tome. That's a very fancy book, isn't it? But apparently Giselle was unable to take a hint. What it about? I let out a sigh and opened to no page in particular, sticking the book out towards her. She was a servant, and a woman. There was no way she could read. Let's see here. This land is hardly suitable for cultivation. It can only produce over-sour grapes. I would probably get more out of it if I tore down the fields and made it into a market. Sounds like a lord's diary. You can read. I was caught slightly off guard. It was rare for a noblewoman to be able to read and write, let alone a servant. She was truly what she claimed to be? I had someone to teach me. So, is this book any interesting? It's dull, worthless tripe. I can't imagine why anyone thought it was worth binding. Tough crowd. But it's not very often you get to see a lord's diary. I'm rather curious what kinds of things he griped about. Lord or king, what value was there in another's grumbling? There was no knowledge contained within that book. Just emotions, unslightly scribbled. And there was nothing more exhausting in this world than being emotional. If you want to read it, be my guest. That wasn't my intention, but alright. Once I've got the whole mention clear, I'll read it. I told you, you don't have to clean. Hee. Oh, I've got an idea, Master. If you're interested, maybe we could read together. Did you hear a word I just said? It's dull, worthless Still, you might see it differently if you read it with someone else. And I'm sure there are some books here you would enjoy, Master. You're wasting your time. The suspicion and restraint budding between us was trite and insignificant at that point. She was still smiling after all, and if I'd been able to maintain that distance, then perhaps I wouldn't have ended up hurting her. Oh, this one's gonna end in tragedy as well. Okay, so now we're going back to her perspective. It had been little under 2 weeks since I had moved here with Michael. Though we lived in the same house, we rarely saw each other. On unlucky days, I wouldn't see him at all. I wasn't sure if he ate in his room or schedules were simply misaligned, but we never had any meals together. Perhaps it was deliberately avoiding me. That has to be it. I know a servant and master don't usually eat at the same table, but even so, it could be a little less obvious about it. Am I really that much of a nuisance? I'm not doing anything inappropriate, am I? I'm being pleasant and sociable, aren't I? I haven't given him any reason to not like me, I think. I hope. He had never been very enthusiastic about my staying here, but I hadn't been given a choice. I had been sent here by his family. Besides, no, out with the negative thoughts. Gotta stay positive. Yeah, he wasn't trying to chase me out yet. He hasn't tried to chase me out yet. I just haven't broken the ice. I had to stay positive, optimistic, happy thoughts, and be myself. As long as I kept working at it with enough time, Michael would surely come around and not be so distant. I've got a goal, so let's get to work. First, I make supper. Then, I ask him to have it with me. Gotta be proactive when it comes to the reclusive types. Alright, here goes. Or, here would go. But we're almost out of supplies. Well, so much for that. The cellar was where the non-perishable food was stored. Dried fruit, smoked meat, cheeses, had a small scattering of root vegetable. Looking at this makes me feel like a soldier holding down a castle fortification. Had Michael really gone 10 years on nothing but this? I would have raised the white flag long ago. He said he hadn't left the mansion at all in those 10 years. I assume he at least goes out to get supplies, right? Running out of food is kind of a life or death matter. I can't believe he hasn't set foot outside even once in. What are you babbling about? Ah! Oh no, he overheard me. I assumed you were talking to someone. Huh? Does anyone else live here, Master? I haven't seen anyone. Is it just the two of us? Alive, anyway. You mean there are ghosts? Something of the sort. Huh. There you go again with the jokes. I'm not a child. You're not going to trick me like that. There are adults who believe in such things. Huh, I suppose. But I don't really believe in ghosts or demons or curses or any of that. The church just tries to convince people they're real so they can squeeze more money out of them. Am I going to have to turn you over to the church, you blasphemer? No. I pray every day, honest. I don't particularly care either way. I'm returning to my chambers. What? Already? You didn't come down for food? I only came down because I heard voices. A moment, please, just wait a second. What? Our stores are almost empty. What do you normally do when you need more food? I'll happily accompany you on a trip to the market. Already? That was fast. There are two of us. I don't really eat that much, do I? In the dim light, it was difficult to make out Michael's expression, but I thought I could see a tinge of annoyance on his face. Hold your ground, Giselle. You said you wanted to get closer to him. Is this a parsnip? Michael was holding a tangled ball of roots. The reason I asked was because the parsnip looked like it was on the verge of total decomposition. See, there's still food. He then handed it to me. What? Wait, you want to eat that? It's clearly seen better days. You're going to get sick. Or you're telling me you can survive on this rotten vegetables. Of course I won't eat it. I just figured out you were hardy enough to survive. What do you think I am? No, he's definitely a jerk. Or that the resulting diarrhea might reduce your appetite. You're kidding, right? You can't be serious. Anyway, we should bury that outside. Then we can go purchase fresh supplies. I told you I don't go outside. Then how do you... a visitor? Who could it be? Perfect timing. You're a servant, make yourself useful and go retrieve that package. Hey, if it's not a delivery but a wanderer, chase them out. What? Package master? Hold on a second. What are you talking about? He's gone. What kind of delivery is he expecting? Okay, so this is the food delivery. Michael stood there, unmoving, veiled in shadows. He glanced over me, then threw his gaze to the front door. At this command, I raised the bar, pulling open the door. After nearly 2 weeks inside, the light from the setting sun almost blinded me. The world went white, my hand pounding. After a few moments of intense blinking, my eyes acclimated themselves to the evening sunlight. There was no one outside, only a crate easily large enough to fit a child. Is this the package, master? I turned back to face Michael, but he wouldn't meet my eyes, though it seemed more like he was avoiding looking at the light than me. He's starting to seem more and more like a vampire. Not that I believe in vampire, of course. Regardless, I pray there's nothing bad in here. Ah, that's heavy. Master, could I get some help? Gee, thanks. I'm a servant, admittedly, but this is a lot to ask of just one girl. A little help would sure be nice. Once it's inside, close and bar the door. He said dispassionately, his head still turned towards the darkness. As you wish, master. Once the door was shut, I found myself sucked back into a world of darkness. It hadn't been even 2 weeks. It hadn't even been 2 weeks, but the lack of sunlight, the lack of light, was beginning to become my normal. The outside world growing farther and farther away. Being holed up in here is definitely not good for me. I should go for a walk sometimes. Maybe plant some flowers or vegetables. Yeah, I like the idea. Maybe I can grow that old tangle of roots into some fresh parsnip. What else do we have to plant? It'd be great if there's some flower seed. Oh my god, roses. What are you doing? Open the box now. As you wish, master. Oh, there's food inside? In the box was a burlap sack filled with berries, bleached vegetables, and smoked meats, as well as an assortment of brand fruits and wine. Aside from the fruit and bread, everything else was the same as what Michael kept in the cellar. Ah, and buried beneath the burlap sack was a single book. 1 book a month. He really hasn't gone outside in 10 years. It appears you have begun to grasp the situation. Yeah, but why? This was delivered by someone from your house, master, wasn't it? A servant, I assume? Why would they leave without saying anything? No one wants to talk to a cursed man. In the past, they would occasionally check in on me, but that hasn't happened recently. They think you're cursed. Ah, right, you don't believe in curses. Then come up with your own explanation. An excuse for them to want to stay away from me. That, for example, I killed someone, or maybe that I'm insane. I couldn't. Regardless, I'm not normal. Bring the food down to the cellar. The book to the library. You are, of course, free to refuse and run back off into the woods. I'll do it. Alright, then you take care of that. Hey, what is it? I just noticed there's something else in here. It's wrapped in cloth. What could it be? Oh, a painting! For you to hang up somewhere in the house, I presume. What? It's so dark, I can't see it very well, but I'm sure it's... Don't touch that! What? Michael, who had kept his distance from me until that point, suddenly marched over. and ripped the painting from my grasp. Master? His face was twisted into a look I've never seen him make before. It was... Oh my god, what did I click? Was it indignation, disgust, hatred, panic? I could not tell, but it was more than enough negative pressure to cause me to flinch back. Is that painting perhaps something important? A landscape painting, he muttered under his breath, the tension melting away from his face. I was left looking at his usual blank, impenetrable expression, but his eyes were still fixed on the picture, staring at it unblinkingly. Why a landscape painting? Some kind of passive-aggressive message? It's not of anywhere nearby. Did they travel somewhere? Well, it's not of that girl, so that's an improvement. Master? Oh, you're still here. Still here? Of course I'm still here. Who do you think you asked to take care of the package? What's with you, just running over, snatching the painting from me? You scared me. Could you maybe explain yourself? What's so special about that painting? I don't believe it's any of your business. None of my... Of course it is. You ripped it out of my hands like I was some kind of thief. I have a right to know what was that all about. And maybe an apology while you're at it. You told me to open the box, so I did. Then, all of a sudden, you're angry. We are not equals. Do not mistake yourself for my friend. You have a right to know. You have no such thing. You don't have to be rude. I'll say it again. Leave if you don't like it here. I've never asked for you to be here. That was your wish. My wish. Are you out of your mind? I never asked for you. I never asked for this. I never wished for it. Who in their right mind would want to be sent to some house in the middle of nowhere? Who would ever want to go through that? No. Calm down, Giselle. You can't get angry. You're right. That is what I wanted. But I never want to make you mad or for us to argue like this. I just wanted to get to know you better, to get closer to you. I mean, it would make things smoother for the both of us. It would make living together more enjoyable for us. Listen carefully. This is very important for you to understand. Do not try to involve yourself with me. Do not go probing around for information. And if you can't do that, leave. I completely shut out. The glare he was giving me and the standoffish aura he was emanating were reflected in his tone of voice. Why? Why did he try to push me away like that? It seems Giselle really didn't know much about me. Despite being sent here from my house, she was unaware of the monthly deliveries, as well as the reason why I lived in the mansion by myself. Why, though, would they not told her anything? Why she had been sent here, left completely in the dark? Giselle looked up at me, fear and bewilderment in her eyes, though I thought I could see a glint of suspicion beneath it all. Like her true feelings were bubbling to the surface. Everyone had darkness in them they kept hidden. No one was exactly who they appeared to be. She was undoubtedly thinking, I'm not here because I want to be. I knew from the moment I first saw her that her bubbly, sweet effect was all a facade. Had she thought I was dense enough to not realize? She was no different than anyone else. What I didn't understand, though, was why she refused to leave no matter how hard I pushed. What was she hiding beneath that innocent-looking face? What was she thinking? What did she carry on her shoulders? Everyone is hiding something, deceiving those around them. I had to figure out what she really was. May I ask you something? Yes? On the day you arrived, you said you made a teeny-tiny mistake while working at my family house. Tell me about that. What did you do about the Bollinger estate? In that moment, brief thought it was, her disposition wavered. Fear. Terror? No, perhaps anger. I couldn't tell. Nevertheless, it was abundantly clear that she was a subject that was a subject she had no interest in me breaching, and so she had borne her fangs. The smile she donned was visibly forced. It's nothing you need to concern yourself with, master. I promise it was an insignificant little thing. She couldn't say. Why couldn't she tell me? What had she done there? What did this woman know about that house? What did she know about me? What was concealed beneath that smile of hers? I am the master of this house and you are a servant, and still you refuse to tell me? Like I said, it's nothing. There's no reason to bother you with a mere servant's personal blunders, master. What are you hiding? I'm not hiding anything. You should be able to tell me exactly what you did at the Bollinger estate. Like I said, tell me. Tell me. You won't tell me a thing about yourself, and yet you demand others to tell you about themselves. Here you are, practically threatening me, demanding I tell you something I don't want to talk about, and yet you still haven't told me anything about the painting. Oh, so I was right. You do have something to hide. How many times must I repeat to myself? We are not equals. I don't care if it's insignificant or something you don't want to talk about. What? I'm ordering you to tell me. A trifling blunder would not get someone sent to live with a cursed man in a house spoken of so unfavorably. Whatever she had done at the Bollinger estate, that had something to do with why she was here. If she truly hadn't done anything, then she had something to gain from this place, or possibly from me. And if that was the case, I had to get her to talk. Don't make me. Giselle's eyes were open wide. I recognized the look she was giving me. I knew very well what that gaze meant. You're an abomination. It was the same as them. Fear, contempt, revulsion, repulsion. The way she acted, the way she spoke, it was exactly the same. You're no different. I made her uncomfortable. I made her afraid. She thought I wasn't pleasant. She thought I was despicable. She thought I was an abomination. In a frenzy, I grabbed her by the shoulders, clamping down far more powerfully than I had meant to. Stop! Her face, contorted in pain, morphed into someone else. Who was I directing my anger at? Where was the rage being aimed? Who are you calling an abomination? What? Tell me, who? The black fur bubbling up from within me knew no end. The girl, she ridiculed me. She denied my identity with her glare. I couldn't escape from that phantom, that reality. I never called you a... No, get away from me. Get your hands off me. Giselle's scream echoed in the entrance hall, rattling my eardrums. She frantically smacked my arms aside, and then I came back to my senses. She was standing a little ways away, breathing heavily, arms wrapped tight around her body, glowering at me, showing her opposition to my touching her. Enlightening. No. You startled me, that's all. Some servant you are, telling your master not to touch you. Alright. I'm allergic to people. It's very, very unique condition, I hear. I mean, can you believe that? See, you know how some people get all red and itchy when you touch a dog or a cat? It's that, except for people, so I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I beg your forgiveness. Why don't you speak your mind? What? This is what's going through your mind right now. I have nothing to apologize for. No, that's not. I can somewhat sympathize with your plight, being made to apologize even though you were hurting. I raised my hand against you first, after all. Then you You forgive me? Sympathy does not equate to forgiveness. Now, you take care of that package. I'm heading back to my chambers. Huh. What is it? You're not going to make me leave after what I just did? No, I am not. For it would seem I can make you leave on your own whenever so I please. Besides, I had yet to learn what she had done. It would be exceedingly difficult to get the story from her own mouth, which left me with one option. To write a letter to my mother, as much as the very thought revolted me. Ooh, that's interesting. He's gonna connect his parents after all this time. And that would be all for today's video. I know this one has been super long, but yeah, I couldn't stop myself from keep on playing. This is incredible. I'll admit it, I was completely wrong about everything. This game turned everything upside down. That's crazy. Every single twist was so good, and I truly love the story. The story is just fantastic. This game truly shapes out to be a 9 out of 10, possibly a 10 out of 10. I kind of want to see the ending to decide that. But yeah, it's crazy, crazy good game, and I cannot wait to continue. I believe the next episode will be the final push for the ending. That being said, I have watched the other endings and they were okay. They didn't really end up, they didn't really add up anything. I kind of wish the game was more linear and instead didn't give you the option to choose. But that's personally me. I think the options were just kind of dull. They didn't really serve any purpose. But that's, you know, my thinking of it. So I'm not going to show them. If you want to show them, I'm pretty sure there's so many videos showing them. But yeah. The way we continued, wow, it's incredible. The story is fantastic, and I cannot wait to finish this game, probably on the next episode. But yeah, that's all for now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.